Okay, kids, this is the best setup I could think of right at the moment, and maybe it'll get better. You're going to be looking at what I'm doing upside down for now until I figure out how I can get my camera over my shoulder or from a high point, like above it. But this is what I got. And so I'm going to give you some examples of some fun little things that you can do with crayons and just some lined paper. I use lined paper, but you can use art paper. The thinner the paper, the easier it's going to be to do this. So this one that I have right here is going to be an example of something else. So I made a couple of things. My first thing I made was this little bird. And I'm going to show you how I got that pattern of color on there. What we're going to do is we're going to do a color rub, transferring color onto our paper with something, a hard surface underneath our paper. So then the transfer of that image of what's underneath comes through on our paper. And then just cut it out in any shape you want. I made a bird and I put it on a craft stick with some tape. And so I was thinking I might make a bunny to go with my bird. So here we go. So what you need is some paper. Like I said, I'm using lined paper because it's thin and it will transfer images through pretty easy. You're going to need some crayons. Broken crayons are going to be best because you need the flat edge of the crayon. You don't want to use the tip because the tip's going to mark lines instead of rubbing the transfer of color. So you want the flat edge. So if you have some broken crayons, that's great. If you don't have broken crayons, you just want to tear off the paper about halfway down to make it easier. So if you're going to put your image when you're done on a craft stick, you'll need a craft stick, and you'll either need some glue, or I use some transparent tape. And these little rolls of tape I got at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, and 6 of them in a pack, I think it was, for $1. And the craft sticks, there was, I think, 100 of them for $1. They have crayons at the Dollar Tree too. So anyway, I think most of you guys already have the supplies that I'm going to use, except for probably the feathers, but you can use anything that's got an edge on it. So this first time, I'm going to show you to use colored pencils. So get your supplies, pause the video and get your supplies, and then come back and I'll show you what to do. So I'm guessing that you got your supplies, and I'm going to show you how to do it with the colored pencils. So what you want to do is you want to put your colored pencils in some kind of row, either like this towards you or long ways towards you, but either way. And then you want to put your piece of paper over them. And you could use, I don't know, I think in this instance I used about 10, 12 pencils. I'm not going to count them, I'm just guessing. And they're all generally the same height, width. So I really liked the way this purple and the pink show well on the paper. So I'm going to use the darker colors because they show really well probably on the camera, better than the lighter colors. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold your paper down and you're going to take the flat edge, the side of your crayon. You're going to lay it down flat like that, and you're going to wipe across, and you'll see all these little lines, and that's the pressure from your crayon on its flat edge rubbing against the pencils underneath. And so I'm just going to make some lines with this, and it doesn't matter if your paper stays still because all this pattern is just fun. Okay, then I'm going to turn my paper. I'm going to leave my pencils in the same place. I'm going to turn my paper, and I'm going to grab a different color. This time I'm going to use pink. And then I'm going to scrape my pink across. And look at that. It's making this crosshatch kind of look. Isn't that fun? It's so much fun. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my paper again. I'm going to grab this orange. And you can use any colors you want. You don't have to pick the colors I'm using, and you don't even have to use the pattern that I'm using. So, and then I'm going to go this way. So now it's crossing it again at a different angle. So now I have that. Now I'm going to use green. I need to tear a little more paper off this green. This green is a broken crayon that I had, and those are perfect crayons for tearing the paper off and using on the side. Make sure you ask Mom and Dad first. I don't want to get any of you in trouble. I know Grandma's the boss, but Mom and Dad are the boss at home. So now we're going to just scrape again. And that's what I've got so far. Oh, I got that. And the funny thing is if we can turn this, I think I'm going to be done with mine. And you can keep going with color if you want to, but I'm going to be done with mine real quick. And I think I'm going to move my pencils out of the way. And I want this to be a bunny, to be my bird's little friend. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunny out of this. So I'm going to draw out my bunny. And so he needs a couple little ears, right? There's some ears and a face and a little body, right? Little body and a big fluffy tail and a leg there. My toes are, there we go. And then some little paws up front. Doesn't have to be perfect. And now you can see my bunny image in there. And I'm going to draw his little face on there now. And I'm just using my colored pencils for this. You can use a crayon to do it. And I'm going to put ears there. I'm going to do the outline of what his ears would be. And I'm going to do a little nose right here. A little pink nose. I'm going to color it in. And give him a little smile because I like him to be cartoony. And you don't have to do animals. You can do robots. You can do whatever you want to do. I think his little arm needs to go up higher than his body like that. Maybe this one. And then, now you don't have to cut him out. And if you can use scissors, you can cut him out if you want to. You can leave him like that if you want to. Oh, I think my little bunny needs eyes. I almost forgot about his eyes. Let's give him some eyes. So I'm going to give him a couple little green eyes. Right? Some little green eyes. And so there's my bunny. There's my bunny. A couple little green eyes. And you can tell I'm not real good at drawing legs. That's okay. He's still a cute bunny. But it doesn't matter to me. Yours aren't going to be perfect either, but they're going to be perfectly drawn by you. So that's okay. And then I'm going to cut mine out. And like I said, you don't have to cut yours out. You can leave them on the paper the way it is. If you don't have scissors, that's fine. And then maybe Mom and Dad doesn't want you to use scissors. Maybe go to Mom and Dad and ask them if they'll cut it out for you. And that's okay. If you want it cut out. You don't have to have it cut out. Leave it like that. And so there's my little bunny guy getting cut out. I hope everybody's having fun now that it's warming up outside and going outside and enjoying the warm weather and going for walks. I like to go into the woods and go on hikes and see all the little animals that are coming out of hibernation. I've seen some robins in the yard. I haven't seen very many cardinals lately. Maybe it's warmed up and they're gone away to wherever they go to. I don't know. Do you guys know where cardinals go? If you do, tell me in the comments. Where do cardinals go in the summertime? You know, a lot of birds in the wintertime, they go into the woods to hide from from the snow and the cold wind. They hibernate in the woods. And I've seen some raccoons out. I haven't seen any skunks yet. Good thing. There are no stinky skunks. And there's my rabbit. So that's a little creative way to get a pattern onto something. And so I'm just gonna lay him face down. And I'm gonna lay my stick on the back of it. And then I'm just going to take 2 pieces of tape and I'm going to tape it down to the stick. And then that way, if I wanted to make a different character and I don't have any more sticks, then I can change them out because it won't be glued to it. So now my little birdie friend has a little bunny friend. And you know what you could do? You could make a whole bunch of characters and you could put on a little play with your characters, whether it be animals or robots or people, could be all kinds of things. And you could make out a little play, write out what they'll say, and then do a little play for mom and dad or brother and sister and have fun with them. So that was that, and that was how you use the pencils to make the pattern on your paper. I tried using some craft feathers, and those are at the Dollar Tree too. And you know, this is, well, that's not true. I didn't really like the way it turned out, but you guys might. You guys might like the way it turned out. I was hoping that when I put these on there and tried it, that I would see the little feather marks in it. But what I got were just the stems of the feather. Well, I guess that one came out a little bit. Not too bad, but, you know, it just wasn't as detailed as I had hoped. But you can do something like that. And you can use, you know, you can use other things too, like maybe go out into the yard and get some leaves. Leaves transfer really easily onto paper, and they're really fun to use. You get all the little veins and everything from that. And so this was how my feathers turned out. And that wasn't my favorite. But I suppose, now that I have the lines for the feathers, what I could do, let me get these feathers out of the way. What I could do, now that I have the lines for the feathers, I could just take a colored pencil and maybe make some feathered lines like that. And I've got color already there. And so I can make my own feathers, right? Maybe I get a green in there and do some feathered lines here too. And let's see, I got a blue in here. Let's do a blue too. Maybe we can add some blue to this one. No, my feathers look like that. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but you guys might like it. You might find ways to be creative with that. So then I made a rainbow, and I don't know if you can see all that little veining that's in my transfer. See all that little veining? And it didn't come through on all of them very well. I don't know if I needed a fresh piece of paper for every color, but what I did, I'm going to use this one. I took a piece of paper and I crumpled it really good. And you know what would work better for this than this lightweight paper is probably a piece of brown paper bag, because it's stiff and it would hold those crunched up lines a lot better. So I did that. And I want it crunched up really tight. I just want to get some really crisp lines in there. And so then I undo it, but don't smooth it out. Just undo it. Now put that underneath the piece of paper. And then take your crayon. And, you know, I made a rainbow, so I went from one edge all the way over like that. And then another color like that. And another color. Like I said, don't smooth out that piece of paper that was underneath before you set it down, because then you're not going to see your lines in there. And then I had the most trouble probably with this orange because I wanted to slip, but I got that. And then I took my pink and I made a heart, and that was a little more challenging to figure out how to do, but I got it. I like hearts and I like rainbows. And so you can see all that little veining in there. Just gave it some texture. So that was kind of fun. So I hope that you guys find some fun things to make texture with on your paper, and then share with me what you make, because I want to see them. And I hope you have lots of fun. Love you guys. Bye.